Hi everyone, today I'm unboxing and using the Winsor Newton Soft Pastel 30 pack that I got for Christmas from my husband Matt. I'm also possibly testing out a pack of stencils that I might use for this project that I also received for Christmas. This is just a short side video while I work on some larger exciting projects that you'll see soon. Let's get started. These soft pastels are something I've been wanting to try for a while now. As much as I love experimenting with new art supplies, I sometimes hesitate because I want to make sure I'll use them properly. But with Christmas giving me the perfect excuse, I'm excited to dive in. For today's project, I'll be drawing on a dark blue pastel matte page. This paper is ideal for soft pastels because it is designed to grab and hold onto the pastel pigment while also making blending much easier. I've used this paper before in my recent Secret Santa video where I drew a penguin for Shana from Caution Artists at Play, and I'm excited to see how it works with this new set of pastels. I'll be drawing Dobby from the Harry Potter series. I chose this subject because he's such a fun and expressive character. Dobby's a bit polarizing. Some people find him kind of annoying, yes I do, in Chamber of Secrets because of the chaos he causes. But by the end of the series, especially in Deathly Hallows, he's such a beloved and selfless character. There's something about his journey that really resonates with me, and I thought he'd make a great subject to test these pastels out. Interestingly, I originally planned to draw Dobby with my oil pastels over the holidays, but I bought the oil pastels back in 2020 when I was just getting into art, but I've barely used them. This would have been my first proper piece with them. So if you have any tips on using oil pastels, I'd love to hear them. However, once I received these Winsor Newton soft pastels, I decided to change things up and use these instead. While this was a Christmas gift from my loving husband, these pastels have been on my wish list for a little while. I kind of fell in love with the pastels when I first tried pastel pencils a year ago and realized that even someone unskilled in the medium could do a pretty decent job with them. Granted, I have been focusing on learning both colored pencil skills and oil painting, which gave me a significant head start with transitioning to this new medium. I am a huge fan of Winsor Newton and trust their products. I absolutely love their student grade oil paints, and their sister brand Liquitex is my favorite for all things acrylic. Honestly, their reputation for quality gave me the confidence to add these pastels to my wish list, and I cannot lie, the colors on the box are just so pretty. They immediately caught my attention. I love bright, vibrant colors, and seeing them displayed so beautifully, definitely added to the appeal. Of course, I know I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but hey, in this case, it worked for them. I am such a style hopper. I began taking up art in 2020 before the pandemic, not because of it, and I wanted to learn everything. I love trying out various tools, and pastels are no exception. I firmly believe that experimenting with different mediums helps improve my skills in the main areas like drawing and oil painting. It's also a lot of fun discovering new ways to create, and pastels have been one of the most exciting mediums for me to explore. One thing I really appreciate about pastels, how quickly you can create a complete piece. Sometimes that's all I want, a quick, expressive project that doesn't take days or weeks to finish. I save my oil paints and colored pencils for those longer, more involved pieces that may take me weeks or even months to complete. I also want to add here that I am not affiliated with any of the brands mentioned today. I just love creating art and sharing my passions with all of you. I genuinely enjoy learning and experimenting, and I hope I can inspire you as well. Let's all have the best time creating together. Let me know in the comments what inspires you with your art. What makes you want to create? For those of you who may not know, soft pastels and oil pastels are quite different. Soft pastels are powdery and have a chalky texture. They are fantastic for blending and creating soft transitions, almost like painting but in a dry medium. Oil pastels, on the other hand, are creamy and have a waxy feel. They're great for vibrant, bold strokes but can be trickier to layer. I think each has its own charm, but for today's piece, I'm really excited to explore the vibrancy and blendability of these soft pastels. This 30 pack of Winsor & Newton soft pastels offers a solid range of colours, including 2 whites. While I usually gravitate towards larger sets with more options, I found that pastels are easy to mix, so you don't necessarily need a huge selection. Plus, I still have my pastel pencils, which I've used in previous videos and can help fill in any colour gaps. These soft pastels aren't designed for fine details since they're quite thick and rounded. It'll be interesting to see how I tackle a subject like Dobby with his detailed features and expressive pose. One thing I noticed right away is that the colours are incredibly vibrant. However, I did run into a small issue with the dark brown pastel. It was a bit scratchy and seemed slightly damaged, which made it hard to work with. If I could add just one more colour to this set, it would be a warm grey. The two greys included both lean towards blue, and a brownish grey would have been perfect for this project. That said, the colours in the pack blend well, so I was able to create the shades I needed with some mixing. I started the piece slowly, working on the left side with lighter blues and greys. As I got more comfortable, I decided to push the colours and use one of the brighter blues in the set. The contrast between the deep shadows on the left and the bright highlights on the right really made Dobby stand out. I love how the colours layered. Even when I added darker tones or bold reds of warmth, I could still layer lighter shades over them to fine-tune the look. One area I totally suck normally with is trying to create realistic shadows and highlights with the folds of clothing. There is a balance between the two that I always find difficult, and it is something I have tried to improve on with my other coloured pencil works and also my oil paintings. It is definitely an area I want to improve on, and I think with Dobby and his pillowcase clothing, I managed to do a fairly passable job with it. Is it perfect? No, but you can see the shape of the fabric and understand how it falls around his body. Dobby goes through a bit of a weird transition here. He starts to look like he hasn't shaved in quite a while with a full beard. Always trust the process and remember that sometimes pieces can look a little weird and ugly, but as you keep going, it all starts to come together. I just need to add a few more details to his face and all should be good with him. One tip I've learned while working with these pastels is to turn your paper sideways when working on details. When you're holding a pastel stick, it's easy to lose sight of where the edge is hitting the paper. By turning the paper, you can get a better view and place your marks more precisely. This trick was especially helpful when working on Dobby's face, which has a lot more tiny details. Dobby's anatomy was a bit of a challenge for me, especially his legs and feet. I made his legs slightly too wide at first and struggled to get his feet to look right. Feet are something I've only recently started practicing, but I've always loved drawing hands, and feet have similar complexity that I find really fun. Despite the struggles, I was able to adjust things and get them to a point that I'm happy with them. These soft pastels are great for covering large areas quickly, which is perfect for creating dynamic backgrounds or blending soft gradients. For finer details though, I would usually bring in pastel pencils or even my regular coloured pencils. However, for this piece, I wanted to challenge myself by sticking with just the pastels that I'm reviewing. It's a good way to push yourself and learn what a medium can really do. The final portrait turned out better than expected. Dobby's expression feels somber and a little scared, which I think reflects his personality really well. The soft muted tones and contrast helps brings out the vulnerability in his character. While there are areas I'd like to refine more, I am pleased with how it all came together overall. Working with the Winsor Newton Soft Pastels has been such a rewarding experience. As someone who's relatively new to pastels still, I found these easy to use and the vibrant colours were a joy to work with. While they're not ideal for the tiny details, they are perfect for bold, expressive pieces. I can see myself using these in combination with pastel pencils for future projects. If you have any tips for working with soft pastels or oil pastels, please share them in the comments. I'm always looking for ways to learn and improve. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and to subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!